Everyone. My name is Patricia Potts, and I'm one of the authors of Our Journey from Darkness to Light. Heidi is in charge of my marketing, and she does a great job. But she wanted me to share with you a personal experience that I've had with scriptures that have helped me through one of my depressions. So I'm looking at the clock because I don't want this to be long, but this story begins at a dentist's office. I went to have my teeth cleaned, I went to have my tooth, a cavity taken care of. And it was at a really stressful time of my life. And part of the stress was just raising our adopted son. He had a lot of issues, and it was sometimes pretty challenging. Anyway, so I went to the dentist, and he started working on my filling. He hit a nerve once, and I went, and he hit it 2 more times. And the 3rd time when he hit it, I went unconscious. And at that time, it was as though I was in this dark place, and yet I had huddled myself in a corner, and I didn't really want to come out. I didn't want the stress of facing everything, with 5 kids and some teenagers, and I just wanted to stay in that quiet place. And then I heard my name being called, and when I came back to consciousness, I shook really severely, and the dentist said that it looked like I was having a seizure. So he called my husband, and they literally had to carry me out or help me walk to get out to the car. I really just didn't know what was going on, but the dentist suggested that I get a good night's sleep and try and see how I am in the morning. So anyway, I was still very shaky and everything. So we went to the doctors. They did some testing. They put me in the hospital overnight. And I was by myself and felt very, very lonely and worried because I was feeling so depressed, and thought, how long is this one going to last? Because I'd already been through some pretty difficult depression. And I was using the call button, trying to get somebody to help me, with a bedpan, because I couldn't hardly walk. And I pushed the call button like 3 times and asked for somebody please to come help me. And the next thing I knew, that there was the sound, my door was open, and there was the sound of somebody walking down the hall. And I thought, maybe I can get help now. And this nurse, CNA, whatever, it was a man. As he walked by my door, he threw a bedpan onto the bed. And that was so embarrassing and degrading. And I was already, emotionally beating myself up for, once again, having mental or physical problems. And not knowing what was happening to me. And I, after he threw that bedpan, then I had my scriptures with me, and I just opened it to a page to try to get help. And what I read was, and it came to pass, this is in Mosiah 24:16. And it came to pass that so great was their faith and their patience, that the voice of the Lord came unto them again, saying, be of good comfort, for on the morrow I will deliver you out of bondage. And I felt like I was in bondage. My body couldn't walk, and so with that promise of that scripture, I was able to get to sleep at that hospital. And I had no idea what on the morrow went or meant. I thought this was going to be a quick fix, and it wasn't quick. And that scripture talked about patience, and I ended up going through about 18 months of being in and out of a wheelchair. And eventually I was diagnosed with a mental condition called conversion reaction. And it took hypnotherapy, it took time, it took a lot to get through that time in my life. But I was so thankful for that scripture, because I kept coming back to whatever the morrow meant. One day, this bondage will be finished. So I just wanted to share that little story with you. Thanks for listening.